Oliver from Twitter suggested that I watch a show called Timeless. It's about a group of people who are trying to stop someone from altering the course of American history. And the main characters are Lucy, a historian, Wyatt, who's a soldier, and Rufus, who's a programmer and pilot. And the biggest thing that I think this show has going for it is its ideas. Because I'm a little bit more interested in the ideas than I am the actual story, as science fiction is generally not my thing, hour-long action dramas are generally not my thing, but I'm glad I broadened my horizons and I did find it very interesting. I was invested the whole time. I do find it, the coolest thing about it was that the protagonists are trying to make sure history happens the way it's supposed to, which means causing all these disasters. The first episode, which I watched, starts with the Hindenburg disaster, and the antagonist is trying to change the course of American history by saving people and preventing all these disasters. I think that is a really cool idea. Can have a lot of fun debating that. I like the idea that one of the main characters is a historian. I think that's really cool. That's a really cool choice, since she spouts all this knowledge and she can keep things consistent, but like nobody can see the full scale of the picture. Even her own personal timeline is affected by the Hindenburg changing. Things do change. So one thing I have noticed is that multiverses and the idea of alternate timelines are very common right now. They're very popular because I've seen that Community, Rick and Morty, well, same creators, obviously Doctor Who, but there's definitely a genre there. It's, like I said, it's not really my thing. I'm not very familiar with it. I don't really care for sci-fi that much, but I am curious. I'm curious. I can still respect good ideas. I can still respect a good one. And this show it is interesting. I did have a little trouble. While the characters are interesting, I didn't feel like I really understood at first why those three. They do address it a little bit towards the end. It's like, oh, there's a bigger reason why, particularly Lucy, why she was picked. But I really wasn't getting why. I didn't feel it. I thought, okay, the script called for it, but why these three? It's like, it's not clear. I'm sure it's gonna get clearer. But she's just teaching, she loses her job, which I thought the setup for her was a little rushed and I didn't really feel the impact of it. And then she's suddenly thrown into this time travel story, which is interesting. The way it's done is interesting, because usually when I think time travel, I think, oh, you can go anywhere, anytime, no limitations, but there are some limitations here. Even though history's being altered, they still can't go back to the same time period twice. There are still no do-overs, which is a very interesting idea. So they really only have one shot to get this right, kind of like our linear timeline. So that is interesting. I wonder if multiverses and time travel I wonder if that's more popular because of video games, and how, at least I was told that with writing video games, you have to think of all these different possibilities for how an outcome can be based on what a character can choose. You have to write that, you have to create that. And that's a very interesting style of writing that I'm not very familiar with. I think that's interesting. I wonder if, and since a lot of people on the television side of things love video games, I'm sure that there's some going back and forth in the genre and adding new ideas to storytelling, adding new things to different genres, which is really, really cool. Hey, things are changing, stories are changing. That's really, really cool. And there's a lot to like about it. Generally, it isn't my thing, but I am really glad I checked it out, and I am really glad I got to see all these different ideas. I love overanalyzing stuff, and this gave me the idea to do just that. Cool stuff. Thank you for the recommendation. Thank you very much, Oliver from Twitter and YouTube channel.